Oh boy. Well, it has certainly been quite some time since the last time I just sat down here and talked about Eden Zero. Well, in video format at the very least. I'm always talking about Eden Zero on the live streams, but as far as just sitting down by myself and recording a video, yeah, it's been a minute. And I feel like I should probably start making these types of videos now for people who can't join the live stream. So just making a video about me talking, or just making a video of me just talking about the chapter, because I'm always going to react to the chapter whenever it drops on a live stream. I feel like that's probably like the best place to do it. It was cool making the videos and reacting to the chapter, but just doing it live is like a much better experience, and it's way more fun. And I would edit the live stream down into funny moments, or just make a reaction video by myself and upload that, but I'm at a point in my life currently where, like, I can't edit for an extended period of time, so this video is really the best, like this type of video is really the best thing for me, right? And I hope that you guys enjoy. By the way, make sure to leave a like, bro, and let me know in the comment section down below how you're feeling about this chapter. You like it? You hate it? And speaking of this chapter, I believe it is time to delve right into chapter 230 of Eden Zero. And right off the bat, I just want to say this. About 3/4 of this chapter is just like complete gold. It is peak Eden Zero. It is the definition of hype. Art was on point. It was just fan-friggin-tastic. But then there's that 1/4. That 1/4 that just brings down the chapter just, just a little bit, let me tell you. And the 1/4 isn't just like the first 1/4 of the chapter, or like the second middle 1/4 of the chapter. You get what I mean, because it's 1/4, so there's 4 1/4s. But it's the 1/4 that takes takes place in the beginning of the chapter and at the very end. Like, the beginning of the chapter was a real big letdown, because the fight between Sister Ivory and Clean and Jyn had been hyped up just a little bit, and this was a fight that I was very interested in, because it was the only setup for a 2v1 in this arc. Right? I mean, I know we got a 2v1 with Weiss and Hermit against Fi, but this was the initial 2v1, and it was two characters that didn't really get a lot of screen time when it comes to fighting, Jyn and Clean, against Sister. And, you know, they're very different fighters, so I was wondering what was actually going to go down and who was going to be the victor. And I was super interested in the fight, but unfortunately Mashima, I guess, maybe didn't think anyone was actually interested in seeing how that fight would go down, because he just cut right to the end of it. So yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer. And it wasn't even like it was like a hard fight. It really just ended up being Sister Ivory just beating the piss out of Jyn and Clean, because they got their memories back somehow halfway through the fight, and they were just trying to they were trying to tell Sister to stop, because they remembered her and they remembered what had happened in the previous world, but she just didn't stop until they were on the ground. So, like, golly, bro. I guess, hey, congratulations, Sister. You kinda won the fight? Yay! But anyways, moving on from that to, like, the best part of the chapter, okay? This entire middle section of the chapter is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, let me tell you. By the way, if my voice sounds a little bit weird here, I've been screaming and talking for about 3 hours before this, so you're just gonna have to give me like a, I don't know, bro. You're just gonna have to let that go, okay? I'm gonna sound a little bit weird next time you hear me. Hopefully I'll sound better, you know what I mean? But anyways, on to this great part of the chapter, the peak, the excellence, okay? Shiki versus Nero. This fight, oh my goodness. Bro, golly. I didn't know what I was expecting. I was expecting Overdrive. Okay, let me correct myself. I knew what I was expecting. I was expecting Overdrive, but I did not expect Overdrive to appear in this way, in this form or fashion, in this new form, bro. Like, oh my goodness. Mashima really dropped a domer on my head top, dude. I thought it was a little weird initially when Nero was sort of like teaching Shiki about how ether gear and overdrive and ether works, I was like, why are you doing this, bro? Are you just doing like the typical villain spiel where you're like, oh, this is how power works, and this is how it works exactly, and I'm telling you this because I'm boastful and I got more power than you, and I'm gonna explain to you exactly how it works because you'll never achieve it. Oh, you achieved it! Like, I didn't know if we were going for a situation like that, or if Nero was somehow, like, different a little bit in this world, in this universe, and he was sort of like a bit of a good guy, or had some good in him. We learn later that it is the latter that is actually the case, because he is doing this for Shiki, so that Shiki can beat you-know-who. We'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, Shiki learns about the whole overdrive thing and how he can actually use overdrive in this universe, and his body isn't going to hold him back because ether changes and optimizes to take on certain forms, and overdrive has multiple forms, and so Shiki does what he needs to do. We get this really sick power-up panel, like really sick. This is one of my favorite panels of Shiki in the entire series, and then we get a look at his new overdrive form. It is his best one. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, it is by far his best overdrive form. Because it's really just Shiki's overdrive form and Ziggy, and you just, you mash them together, you combine them into one, and you get a really, really sick looking overdrive. I love the fact that it's like got some really sick armor to it, the face looks really menacing, and you get like the ether lines, and like his arms and legs are like a deep black, bro. It looks so sick. I was gonna say super, but then I went with so. It looks so super sick, dude. It looks awesome, and I love the cape as well. The cape, actually, it is a bit much, I will say. Maybe going with like the two little things that come off of the scarf that he originally has, or whatever piece of equipment that he's wearing that has those two little things that come off the back. That might have done the form a little bit better, but the cape is still fire nonetheless. I think it's just throwing me off a little bit because he's a kid, so he's smaller, and like when he had the cape in his overdrive form, he had it when he was an adult, so it was a long cape and it kind of worked. But anyways, it's fine. The cape is fine, the form is fire, I love it. Also, Nero's showcasing of his abilities in this chapter were pretty sick as well. But on to the reason why Nero was training Shiki to begin with, bro. Why was he doing this? Well, let me tell you. He was doing this because he believes that Shiki might be able to stop the tyrant, the emperor of Nero 66, of the Oooooh cosmos, I believe. Emperor Shura, bro. Oh my goodness. Golly, bro. Bro, I'm telling you, this arc is supposed to sort of like, it's sort of supposed to be about Draken because we're on Belial Gore. Draken is supposed to be like the main antagonist of this arc, so you're supposed to be super hyped for him, but they just keep talking about Shura and bigging him up, and that's making me so much more excited for Shura than it is for Draken Joe. It almost kind of feels like, because we barely been talking about Draken throughout this entire repeat of Belial Gore. Like, his name has barely come up, and he just now like reappeared in this chapter, and I'll talk about him in a second, but we just been talking about Shura, bro. And we've been bigging that man up, and he is so freaking cool, dude. And I'm so interested and excited at the prospect of what he has become. I was originally wondering if he was gonna have like a growth period and maybe mature, but it seems like he is still just a tyrant and a monster, and he hasn't really changed whatsoever. And now that he's the emperor, bro, you know that the tyrancy, the villainy has been turned up to 11. So I can't wait to see what nefarious and brutal things he's been up to, bro. And just the idea of what he could be getting up to and how awesome he could turn out being is so cool. And it has me so hyped and so interested. I've been saying the word so a lot in this video, I know, bro, but you just gonna have to, bro, just like the voice thing, you just gonna have to let it pass, okay? But yeah, they've been showing off Shura and talking about Shura so much in this arc. It's kind of overpowering Draken's presence in a way. And that's, bro, that's kind of just what happens when you talk about another big bad and you big up another big bad and you don't show the big bad of the arc that you're currently in really at all. It's just, it's natural, bro. That's just what happens. But Drake and Joe does appear finally at the end of this chapter, and he looks like a beast as always, but then we get to the other bad part of the chapter, or the part of the chapter that I didn't really like. I don't want to necessarily call it bad because, I mean, the way that Shiki says this line is what kind of makes me feel like this part is bad, but what could actually come from that line isn't actually bad. He says that he wants to make Shura and Draken his friends, which was something that I was worried about. I was like, bro, are we just going like the typical shonen route? Okay, he couldn't make he couldn't become friends with them in the previous worlds or the previous universes, so now he's going to try in this final one. But what I'm thinking is that the whole friend thing really means allies. I'm sure it means like actual friends to Shiki, but I think what's going to happen is that we are going to get a very, very shaky alliance between Drake and Joe, Shiki, and Shura for the sake of overcoming a greater evil. So, and that greater evil is the Eden's One. If that's what's going to happen, I'm completely fine with it. If they become, like, actual friends, they're skipping down the hallway, bro, just having popcorn, bro, sharing it, all that stuff, I'm gonna be entirely ill, dude. Iller than you've ever seen me before, dude. I'ma be done. Okay? Don't retcon my man's Draken just for the sake of this story that you want to have. Don't do that, okay? This man is ruthless. He's killed so many people. He shot the MC in the face, and he sold people, bro. Like, no. Leave that man a villain. Just have it be a shaky alliance, an uneasy alliance, like Goku and Frieza in the Tournament of Power. That's easy, bro. And, you know, maybe sure you can do something with him, but no, I kind of want him to stay evil as well, alright? But anyways, I believe that's going to do it for this video. Yeah. Glad to be talking about Eden Zero again in this type of format, bro. Or this is really the first time I've ever talked about Eden Zero in this format. I'm just glad to be talking about Eden Zero again in like a video format of this style. So just, you get what I'm trying to say, bro. Don't even worry about it. But anyways, that's going to do it for this one. I hope that you all enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this type of video. I know it is a little bit of a departure from the norm, but that norm was like 6 months ago, bro, so it's gotta be switched up. But yeah, make sure you like the video, you leave a comment down below on your feelings on the chapter and your feelings on this type of video format, and make sure you subscribe if you're new, turn on that post notification bell, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.